This podcast episode is starting off with not happiness, with annoyance, because Polly has done it again. This week, what he has done is he has showed up and not actually watched the episode of the show that we need to wrap up. How are you gonna forget to watch the last 2 episodes of the show we've been watching now for weeks, and then show up and only watch the new show that we picked? So with that said, I just found out 2 seconds ago. So the feelings and emotions are very raw. What do you have to say for yourself?
Thank you, Kateki. I did forget that we were still watching that show. Yeah. I'm really liking the new show that we're watching.
Excuse me, I think there's an apology that's needed there because
My apologies to you and also to the viewers that I forgot about this.
And this will be the end of this duo podcast. Because yet again, I'm finding out something for the first time while I sit on this couch ready to film. But we're not going to talk about The Judge from Hell today. We'll talk about it next week. And I can only hope that Polly remembers next week that we would need to talk about it. But with that said, it's going to be a short episode today. So, Polly, you're going to kick us off with the new show that we added to our list.
Yes. So the new show is I'm assuming it's a Netflix original. It's on Netflix, and it is called A Virtuous Business. And then the synopsis is, in search of purpose, opportunity, and independence, 4 rural women start an adult products business in 1992, embarking on a journey of self-discovery. That's the synopsis that I have.
Are you going to kick us off with your... How many episodes have you watched?
I watched 4 episodes. Yes. So the main actress is like super pretty, and like I thought that she was only going to be pretty and there wasn't going to be any substance to her, because like the way we get introduced to her is like these women who like work at a like a I don't know what it's a market, I think, or they're doing something out in public, and like she's saying something about her daughter, I think, being pretty or something, and then she's like, no, your daughter's not pretty, like if you want to see pretty, like look at her. And then it's this woman who is really pretty, and then she's like a hustler. She has several jobs. She's actually kind of the breadwinner of the house.
Waste of space.
She married her, I'm assuming, high school sweetheart, and then he has like a bad temper, and yeah, and then we kind of meet like the ensemble around her. She kind of connects with this one woman when she goes to school, like for her kid's first day. And this woman has a baby on her back that she like unveils. Like she takes like a rag off the baby, because I think the baby was like making noise. And then that woman has like, I don't know how many kids. Like she's like the old woman in the shoe, where she just has like kids popping out of nowhere. But she's not doing very well financially because of the kids, and then probably just her station in life. And then also like one of the main woman's odd jobs is like cleaning a house. So that's one of our other main characters, who's kind of like in this, I don't want to say like loveless marriage, but she's in this marriage where she doesn't have like equal partnership, I would say. She's just more expected to be like a very good domestic housewife. And then the last person that's like of the 4 is a beautician. So she has her own like shop, and she's a single mother. She's also really cute, and she's really funny. And yeah, those are the 4 main women. And then we have this detective, like Beni had mentioned, who's kind of new to town, and like everybody's kind of thirsting over him. They're like, oh, it's the handsome detective. It's a very small town, so like any news is big news, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They must not have a lot of men in that town, because, I mean, no hates to
The
actor. But the character...
He's just kind of average looking.
Yeah, I just was like, okay, I mean, I guess if I live in a small town, anything different from what I already know would be fun. Mm-hmm. I actually had planned to watch this show before we even talked about watching it on here, because I kept seeing it, but it wasn't going to be, because November has a lot going on in terms of like shows that I want to watch. So I wasn't really sure how I would feel about it, because I haven't the last Kim Soyeon work I did, which is the main female lead that I watched, was like years ago because she did like Penthouse and that had like 3 seasons, and I didn't watch that. Though a lot of people loved it, they loved it enough for it to have 3 seasons. It was too like marked down. It was too like dramatic, and I couldn't watch it. But she won awards from my understanding from that show. There's something about her eyes that always bug me with her acting. Like it feels like her eyes are just like wide open all the time. I don't know how to explain, but it's just something about her eyes that always bugs me.
I think you can always see the bottom of the whites of her eyes. At least
Yeah,
to me.
cause I'm just like,
I'm now realizing though that you fixate on like people's bodily acting as much as their like actual like vocal kind of inflection and things like that.
Sometimes it feels like she's like shocked all the time, but regardless of that, I actually did enjoy it. I think all of the ensemble, like the 4 women, they have such interesting lives. The one that she met at the school that has like a ton of kids, her husband don't got no job, but one thing he knows how to do is lay down and make them kids. The beautician has a son who is very quirky and just interesting and funny.
He's adorable.
And I'm interested to know how she was able to sort of make it, because like we're looking, this is like in the 90s, right? And even now these days in K-dramas, single women are looked down upon. So I'm very curious as to like how she even got to a point where she's able to like have her own shop and do her own thing. And she raised an amazing son who does not like get embarrassed about the fact that he similarly doesn't have a dad, or his mom is a single mom. And
he loves to read him some magazines, women's magazines.
He's just a very cute, like interesting kid. And then the other lady who's like the oldest, well, she seems to be the oldest of the group.
They said she's like 50.
Damn. Just kidding. That's Kim Tan's mom, which you wouldn't know because I don't think you've seen Heirs. I didn't love Heirs, but these days I actually want to rewatch it and remind myself why I didn't love it. Because I've been watching The Judge from Hell on social media now. They've been doing a lot of comparison of like Park Shin-hye's character and like that she plays in Judge from Hell, and then the character she played in Heirs, which are completely 2 different characters. Because I remember her character in Heirs like annoying the crap out of me.
I'm like really shook to learn that you didn't like that show, because like I feel like you would always name drop that show. You would always say Heirs. You want to say the way you're saying it?
Yes, and every time I name drop it, it's because I say I don't like the show.
Oh, I don't remember that part. I always just remember.
Yeah, I remember there was a time where you made an edit. Literally, it came up because I said I did not like that show. Again, I did not like that show. Because I made someone watch something doesn't mean that I actually liked it. I disliked the characters. I disliked the people.
She wanted to grill you, be like, do you see what I don't like about that? Like, I hate it.
I didn't enjoy it, but I do want to rewatch it again and pinpoint exactly why I didn't enjoy it. So when people ask me, I can say exactly like down to the details. But the reason why I'm even bringing up Heirs is because the 50-year-old lady plays the mom of Imino's character in Heirs, who like had an affair with the chairman, so he was an illegitimate son or whatever. Anyways, it's so weird because she looks the same to me, but years has passed, but she looks the same. Granted, I don't know what I expected her to look like, but her character is very interesting because it kind of seems like her husband doesn't really treat her very well, but at the same time, she doesn't seem to be like scared of him. I don't know how to explain. Like it's not a physically abusive relationship. It could be a better husband. It could be more attentive. There are a lot of more things it could be, but he similarly is not like as terrible as of a husband as our main lead's husband, who appeared decent at first until we came to find out that he don't got no job. He can't keep a job. He got anger issues.
He's stupid with money. He took their coffee tin money and invested it in this man who's
I'm just like, sir,
got a reputation.
If you failed many times, you don't have any justification or right to keep spending money. And he's like, he lives in his own world where it's like, you've taken that money now that she's worked hard to save, and now they can't pay rent.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But what's even crazier to me is how much everyone's making such a big deal about them selling lingerie.
Yeah, like, I'm like, nothing in it seemed very scandalous. I actually watched the first 2 episodes with my grandmother, and she really liked the show. She thought it was very funny. Like,
That's interesting.
My mom called her, and then she's like, oh, we're watching the show. She's like, it's really interesting. Because, like, for me, I really like it because it's, like, comedic, but it's not, like, kind of, like, slapstick comedic. Like, No Gain, No Love was, like, too goofy for me. This one...
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, because this, I would say, is probably more slapstick than No Gain, No Love.
Really?
100%.
To me, I thought No Gain, No Love was so goofy. Like, I don't know. This one, I feel like has more substance.
I mean, you can say it has more substance, but this one is definitely more goofy in its comedy than No Gain, No Love. But the substance is definitely higher because you're kind of witnessing how women are treated during those times, which isn't really far off than this times. And yeah, but I would say that's very interesting that you preferred this comedy.
Maybe I just didn't like the editing style of No Gain, No Love. Or no, I probably just didn't like the storylines too and stuff.
Yeah.
And how we went off like on other characters. Like this one, even though there are multiple characters, like they're all having like their moments that are like more, I don't know.
No, I agree.
Fleshed out.
I can see that.
But yeah, it's also interesting that we're like, because when we first meet the main character, like she's very much a prude. Like she goes to the butcher shop and they try to make like a funny joke or comment about like someone's sex life, and she's like, I'm leaving. She's like, I got my meat, like I'm going. But then she's like put in this position, where her husband spends all her money. She sees this ad, and like the only way she can make money is to go and like start a lingerie store. She also sells kind of like adult toys and stuff too.
Yeah, but like most of it is lingerie, and everyone's freaking out over mother effing lingerie. And adult toys, sure, yeah, I could definitely see that. But even the like them wearing this slip dress that just literally looks like what people wear out on the street these days, and they're like freaking out over it. But there was a part of the scene where they invited the woman over to the
chairwoman's
house.
Wife?
Not even the chairwoman's wife. Where they were like the 2 girls like try on the outfit, like the lady with a lot of kids and the beautician try on the outfits.
Oh yeah,
and
everybody was
interested. And then that one lady was like, she wanted the beautician's outfit.
She's like, this is not for you. She's like, this one stretches. This is for us.
So she said, that ain't gonna fit you, girl. I was like, I don't know why. I just died laughing because I'm like, girl, yeah, read the room.
Yeah, that butcher woman cracks me up.
The chairwoman lady, she's been in a lot of things this year. I think
is her makeup always like that? Because her makeup in this series is quite offensive. Like,
no, I think the makeup differs per character that she plays.
Okay, good. My grandmother nicknamed her.
She always like that.
My grandmother nicknamed her the big lady. Because she was like, there comes that big lady. She's here to complain about something. And I didn't notice it, but then when I was like, oh, when I look at the rest of the cast, she is the big lady. She's like, she's much more full figure.
Don't do her like that.
It's her and the butcher woman. They both need the same slip. I would need that slip too.
I can't.
The stretch.
We all would need that same slip at some point.
Not all. Not our producer catching us straight. The production will be shut down.
Let's be honest, them Asian side is not for us.
We're a size tree.
Big fats.
I forgot when we saw that sign on our last day in Korea. On our last day in Korea, we went through this neighborhood and there was this sign, and it said big size, big plus size, big fat. It was like, it was just reading us to filth. I hella forgot about that.
They don't play. It's probably a
it's
large.
Like our large here, yeah.
I'm weak. The chair lady. the chair lady. I feel kind of sad for her.
Because she ain't got nothing going on in her life, so she got to take it out on everybody else.
So I have something to confess. I ended up watching a little bit more than the 4 episodes. I couldn't sleep, okay? So now I'm like, wait, what information do I know stops at episode 4 so I don't see it?
I can tell you.
And so that's why I was like, I feel bad for the lady, but then I'm like, wait, did this happen after episode 4?
I think it happened after, because I'm like, there's nothing that would make me feel sorry for her.
I don't feel bad for the chair lady.
I'm like, the last thing we saw is she fucking raised the rent on the beautician.
Okay. So that helps me keep a track, because I think I watched all the way to episode 7.
You breathed in really dramatically.
I couldn't sleep. I tried to stop myself, but I don't know. It just kind of happened. I didn't even know it happened until I was like, whoa, what episode am I on? And I was like, wow, it says 7 here. I should probably stop. So I stopped. I didn't even finish episode 7. But I will now when we get back. That's going to be... So this is why I shouldn't have watched ahead. You should have just, like, known to text me, like, Thursday at 4 a.m. telling me not to. Because now I'm, like, trying not to mix things up. Anyways, I can't take back what I said, but we'll talk about it next week. Why sure. I feel bad for the lady. I mean, ultimately, I'm interested to see what happens with her husband. What has happened with her husband so far as of episode 4?
The main woman's?
Yeah.
I think the last thing we really learned about him is that he left like that toy for the kid.
Oh, so we know about the affair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that happened like in episode 1 or 2. Do we know about? We should maybe tell the audience about what the affair means, like the context. So basically, like, she like, I think that he learns that she's doing like the lingerie sales, and then he's upset that she's not like sorry about it, because she's like basically like, I mean, what other means do I have to make this money? And then he's like, well, if you think I'm such a fuck up, or like if you think I'm so stupid, like why don't I just leave? So then he leaves. He goes with like these 2 mutual friends that they have from high school, which like in their interaction you could kind of tell that like the friend has a thing for the guy, because she just like talks to him a lot. Like she's very kind of like
but
playful.
She was also like talking down on the female lead, while her husband
was present,
was like backing up and like basically telling her like, don't be too harsh on the female lead. Yeah. So if the man in the scenario can be like, don't be too harsh, and men ain't, I'm just kidding. Though I was just like, immediately I was like, that's suspicious that like you're gongo, but you know, some women are brainwashed by what society has told them to.
Yeah, like we kind of thought she might have just been like a pick me, because she should apologize to you, but really no, she just wanted to sleep with her, which like was crazy, because she was like trying to act like she was so virtuous and like she would never do like the lingerie sales, but she would sure sleep with someone's man.
Because there's nothing more virtuous than sleeping with somebody's man.
It's in the Bible.
Like, especially someone that's like a friend of your husband as well. Yeah.
But she got her just desserts.
All homegirl was selling his lingerie and you were giving away your pussy for free.
But she got that mop water thrown on her.
She did, but for me it didn't feel like enough.
It didn't. I thought they were gonna beat her up.
Yeah.
But then we learned that those women can't fight, because those women was writing checks.
I knew they were not going to be able to fight because of how the
other women were like stepping up to them, so clearly they had no fear.
Yeah. They got their ass whooped.
They did. And then their friend was like, what happened? And they're like, we fought each other.
But it's so sweet how much their friendship has kind of grown for her to even be able to spot that, like, nah, y'all didn't fight each other. Like, something else happened.
Yeah, I love their friendship.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's very, like, empowering.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what else was empowering was when our housewife tries on the lingerie that she bought, and she, like, throws the robe open. I was like, that is female liberation right there. That's the feminine movement. Like,
yeah. But it's so sad because, like, 92 was like 31 years ago.
I didn't need that factoid. I could have done without that.
Like, that's not that long ago. That is so sad. But shout out to the women who are working hard to take us away from
The Dark Ages.
yeah. And then shout out to the women who are working hard to put us back there. But let's talk about the detective guy. The detective guy definitely has a backstory.
Oh yeah,
and I can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah, the last thing that I saw was like him having a dream of being.
I saw
was like him having a dream of like being in a fire as a baby.
Yeah. So he has some kind of connection to that town. So
I'm kind of wondering
unknown person is technically probably, even at this stage I've watched, I don't know anything yet either.
My kind of hypothesis is that like the 50-year-old woman, like the pharmacist's wife, like that maybe she is his mom. That's kind of my thought.
Ooh, that would be crazy.
Because like the woman that came and got him from the fire, she looked really young and she was kind of dressed really nice. And like we know from her character development that she is like she comes from like a nice family. Like she's well to do. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. I just feel like he's trying to figure something out. He's trying to solve something. I don't know if the thing is like finding his parents, or maybe is a parent died in the fire and he wants to get to the bottom of like
who started the fire. It was the landlady. The chairman's wife.
The chairman's wife she's so annoying.
And I really wanted somebody to throw in her face like, ma'am, like your daughter bought a whole vibrator, like how are you acting so like high and mighty
when your daughter's didn't raise your daughter well? If you're gonna use the words that they will use against you. The scene, so we had the instance where someone wrote like sex on her wall, and I want to talk about how nobody knew what it was.
I was gonna say that was so funny because people were like offended and gasping, and then they're like, "What does it mean?" They're like, "Oh, I don't know what it means, but it's big and it's red and it's written in English. It can't be good."
I mean, I would gasp too if somebody drew something that big and bright on my wall, even if I didn't know what it meant. And then the guy that was like, it's sex. I was just like, dang, we really in the 90s. But that's not that far away. And only for the person who did it to just be like also hang out like there with them.
That shit pissed me off to learn that it was like the hardware store owners, because he took her money and she paid that money for that paint. I was like, you need to run her a refund because you're the reason she had to buy that fucking paint. Like that's so stupid.
And you know what? He wasn't even the one that pissed me off the most. His wife
trying to like
his wife trying to make it go away and turn everybody against her. When your husband did something, you were also similarly upset and annoyed that he did that. When the police officers came to talk to them, she seemed like, I can't believe, like, who would do something like this? And then when you found out with your husband, she also was like, I think she was like even hitting him, like, why would you do this? Yeah. So then turn around because she's not going to just let it go. Why would she? Her son could have seen that.
He did see that. He just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, like it could have gone bigger. Yeah. I'm sure that the boy's been. I can't say more because I know more. Ultimately, though, I would say I'm definitely enjoying the show a lot more than I thought.
I'm enjoying the show too. I mean, like, I'm not really here for her mom. Even though we had like that breakthrough with her mom with the flashback of like her history, which like that was really good casting because the actress that played the young version of her mom looked so much like her mom in her current age.
Yeah, I think though, like I give her mom grace because we got obviously the backstory of like what she went through.
Well, that was a crazy backstory that like he came back from Seoul with the mistress. And then the mistress
everybody gonna be dead because good on her. But
and then not the mistress throwing in her like undergarments to be washed with the kids' clothes and then fighting it out.
I was like, nah. But the reason why I give her grace because it was definitely frustrating that she also judged her daughter, and that slap. I didn't enjoy watching her slap her daughter.
Nah, her daughter should have slapped her back.
maybe not. I give her grace because if you sort of grown up in a world where it's been like built into your brain that you need to present this way, and also having the backstory of the things that she went through, I think it's hard to unlearn those things. And it's also scary to potentially like see your daughter going down a path that like society would label her for. And you worked so hard you stayed in this scenario because you wanted to protect your kids, only for your daughter to grow up selling lingerie out of a house and dildos. So that's not that bright future, you know?
Oh, she did say the line too, where she's like, how could you sell like those things that woman would wear, like your dad's mistress? So I guess that makes sense.
So that's why I give her grace, but don't slap her no more. Because the grace is out the window after that. But
I feel like your policy is like you'll give everybody one slap, and after one slap, they need to reel it in.
Then we're doing too much. Then I'm going to pull out an arong and stretch and get knocked F out. Yeah, I think I'm really enjoying it.
Same.
And I'm probably going to finish it today. Well, I can't actually. Not all the episodes are out, right?
No, they're not.
There's a total of 12 episodes?
Yeah, and 11 are out so far.
Okay. I was going to say at least 7 are out.
No,
that I know.
10 are out, actually.
Oh, yeah, because you were confused earlier. Okay, so there are 2 more episodes left. But yeah, any last words on Virtuous Business?
I really like the show, and apparently it's based on like a UK series.
Really?
Yeah, I actually wrote down the name if I can find it. What is it?
I did not know that. I also didn't do any backstory because it wasn't really a show that was like...
It was like something briefs or something brief.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think like it's set in the 80s, like in the UK one or something.
See, so I would have liked it better if this was set in the 80s. It would make me feel like it's not so close to now.
That's true. But yeah, I don't know. Usually I feel like with K-dramas, I'm like an hour or a little bit over an hour. That's so long. But this one, like, it has me captured.
Yeah, I think that if you like a show, that 1 hour will go by very fast. The other things I'm watching, so Fiery Priests 2.
Nice.
Came out already this weekend. It's on Hulu and Disney, but as you know, because I'm in America, emphasis on the K, it's not out for me yet. So I sucked up everything I had and I watched it on Dailymotion. And I made it through the first episode, but I could not make it through the second episode. There were so many ads. My thing was refreshing itself. It was freaking me out.
I wish we had like an editor that could edit you like in your like tangent about last week about Dailymotion and then you now. But also, I tried to watch one of the series. I wanted to watch the one that I told you about. Yeah. Something Taekwondo, like the history of Taekwondo. And I tried to watch it on Dailymotion, and like the first ad break came, and then that shit refreshed, and I would have had to like scroll forward or whatever. And then I was like, this is too much damn work. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, but I did it for like the first episode, but then it was freaking me out by the second episode.
We need your friend to give us advice, since you said she's a longtime user of the site, to figure out how to use it.
There's many other sites too, but they keep moving. There's one that like relatively, I would say, used to be decent.
Is it Gaga Ooh La La?
No.
Oh. There's one called Gaga Ooh La La.
I'm sorry, but if you got a virus from one called Gaga Ooh La La, I can't, like, you should have known. There's like different variations, like KissAsian.vu, KissAsian.ai. It just like changes all the time when they get shut down. And I just I like the path of least resistance. I was like so excited. So when I went on Disney and it wasn't there, I was like, I forgot. I'm in America. So I won't be able to see. But the first episode like reminded me
why you like the first season.
Why I like the first season. Well, not necessarily why I like the first season. It just because I didn't go back. A lot of people went and rewatched the first season in anticipation, like closer to when they knew season 2 was dropping. I didn't do that. But once I watched episode 1, I was like, oh yeah, this is Fiery Priests. Like the energy, the comedy, it's slapstick comedy. And in like the scene in the beginning where he's like fighting at the Buddhists, I don't know what to call it, where the monks are at.
The temple?
The temple. Where he's dressed as a monk, undercover, his hair is covered, and he's beating up this gang members who are trying to force the monks out of the temple because they want to basically take over the building and turn it into something else. So they're trying to push the monks out. So whoever is paying them to do that is paying them to threaten the monks so the monks will just leave. So our main character, the priest, is disguised as a monk, beating the crap out of them. And then when they like hit him and his fake monk outfit falls off, and then we see his full-on priest coat, like this is the significant outfit he wore in Fiery Priest. It just kind of felt like real. It's like Fiery Priest is back. I really wanted season 2. I didn't think it was going to happen, so I was quite shocked that it happened, but I'm so excited. I can't remember how many episodes there are going to be, but whatever, if it's 20, if it's 16, if it's 12, I'm going to enjoy every single bit of it. And so far, they've shown us all the characters that we loved in season 1. We know that one of the characters is not coming back, but we'll be fine. We'll be good.
Did they have a scandal or something?
Huh?
Did they have a scandal or something?
No, she's in a different show I'm watching right now, Iron Family. She's the female lead in Iron Family. So
it's a scheduling conflict.
Yeah. It would be nice if every single person was back, but
it's not realistic.
Yeah. Oh, you know the big lady from Virtuous Business?
I'm familiar.
In season 1, she was one of the bad guys. She was like the mayor.
Is that her usual character as a bad person?
No, because this year I think she played in Lovely Runner, which was like a big popular show this year, and she played someone's mom. She's a good character, but in Fiery Priest, she was one of the bad guys. But she wasn't the top bad guy, but she was like her and the other, like there was a group of people that were like bad guys, but a person in their group was like more greedy than all of them. We're all greedy, but yeah. Anyways, I loved it. Only episode 1, but it made me feel nostalgic, even though the show season 1 came out in 2018. It wasn't that far away. And then I watched Doubt. And let me just say, first of all, I had a lot of thoughts about Judge from Hell. And I just want to make, because you seem too comfortable, I just want to like bring that up again. But Doubt, I watched Doubt. So Doubt is basically a show about this criminal profiler, very popular, very famous. And he has his daughter. There's like a crime that happens and things are somehow connected to his daughter that he thinks his daughter might be involved. This show, by the way, they don't have a singular light on. Whenever they're in that man's house, the profiler's house, he and his daughter are very creepy. Both of them combined are creepy human beings, because in their house, it's like they're trying to save the light bill or something. It's like always dark. The rooms, they're eating dinner in the mother effing dark. And it just feels like y'all are so weird. The girl is weird, even though it seemingly feels like, because I think I'm at episode 7 now. I think I have a thing with 7s. But basically, I'll just tell you a quick story. Basically, someone dies, but this person that dies is connected to the daughter of the profiler. There's little things that are left around the scene that kind of ties it to the daughter of the profiler. At first, he thought his daughter died because he couldn't get a hold of her, and he saw things at the scene that seems connected to his daughter. Long story short, she didn't kill the person. Well, we don't know yet, because that girl is very weird. But they had somebody else, which was very young, that died, that the dad thinks the daughter killed this kid. Now, I don't remember if this kid is his son or just another, like, friend that she had when she was a little kid. So he thinks that his daughter is capable of killing somebody. And when you see her, you'll believe it too, because she's a little weird and odd. There's so many twists and turns that I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why can't they just be a simple murder? So now I'm at an episode where we find out that this other person that is her friend. So imagine if I have a friend called Polly, right? I'm going around saying Polly's my best friend. So whenever I talk about Polly, everybody's assuming you. But there's another Polly. But that Polly died. But the entire time, let's say our producer is my dad. The entire time, our producer thinks that like the Polly I've been talking about is you.
That's alive.
That's a lie. That's alive. But meanwhile, you've only known me for a year. So really, the Polly that everybody should be on the lookout for is the one that's dead. So now what happened to this Polly person? We don't know. Well, her body shows up. And this little, like, something that the daughter has, the dad took it to a forensics person.
To be tested.
And they found
her DNA
in it. Only to find out that his wife, who's dead, is the one that buried the body of the girl. And then we assume that she also killed the girl.
The mom.
Come to find out, yeah, the mom didn't kill the girl. It's some teacher that killed the girl. It sounds very confusing. It's not when you're watching it, but you're just kind of like, why is this happening this way?
That's what I feel like. You telling me like
what's going on? And then now I'm at this point where it's like, okay, there's somebody else that's like seemingly helping the profiler's daughter, because the profiler's daughter is trying to, in essence, seek the truth, but she's being weird in general because I think she's just an odd girl. And so we think this person is like, I'm the dad of Mina, who is the other girl that died, like the first girl that died in the beginning of the show. And so they're working together to find out who killed his daughter, and then she can find out who killed Polly and framed her mom. All of this stuff, only to find out that the dad is not the dad of the girl that was killed. The dad is the dad of the teacher.
Oh, so that's why the DNA match? Or what?
I don't even know, girl.
Like, whose DNA are we talking about?
I don't even know. I'm like sitting here and I had to press pause when Elliot's text came in about like moving the time up. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? Get me off this mother effing show because I'm so sick of it. Now there's another dead body. Both the profiler and the daughter were in the building. So now what? Yeah, it's very confusing, but it's very interesting.
My theory is that he either has like dissociative identity disorder and he's the killer, or he's imagining these things and they're not really happening.
That would be crazy because they don't need to take me on that journey. I didn't want to go on that journey. And then Gangnam B-side, which is Ji Chang-wook's drama. I just haven't watched it yet, but it's on there. Apparently, he plays a villain. I don't think I've ever seen him play a villain, so we'll see whether I root for the villain. So I haven't watched that yet. And then, yeah, I'm just rewatching old stuff. How about you?
So like I told you, I wanted to watch, I can't remember the name, The Forbidden History of Taekwondo or something, or Forsaking the History of Taekwondo. And I watched like up to the first commercial break, and I really liked it up to that point. But then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go back and watch that again or like fast forward it. It was a really frustrating experience. So then in place of that, I've been watching A Shoulder to Cry On.
I keep seeing that on Viki. It's on Viki, right?
Yeah. And then like the first episode is titled Sociopath and Hamster. And from the synopsis, I thought it'd be really cute. And
it wasn't?
I mean, it is cute. I don't know. Let me read you the synopsis. Where is it?
Uncontrollable fund. Uncontrollable fund.
Oh, this is a different synopsis than what I read. This seems more in line with what actually happened.
A bait and switch?
Yeah. Okay, here's the one from Viki. So skilled archer Lee Da-yeol has secured a scholarship to a prestigious school, but a run-in with the school's most popular student, Jo Tae-hyun, threatens to ruin everything with his scholarship in jeopardy. Dayol is desperate to distance himself from Taehyun and the wild rumors that seem to follow them everywhere. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tries, Taehyun refuses to leave Dayol's side. Unable to shake Taehyun, Dayol spends his days loathing his shadow, but the more time he spends with him, the more conflicted his feelings become, leaving him to wonder where exactly does the line between hate and love end. And it's also adapted from a webtoon. But so the way we're introduced to the two of them is like he's at archery practice and like he pulls his shoulder, and so his teammates like, hey, go to like the infirmary. He goes, and then like these two boys walk in and they go to the bed next to him, and like you can hear them like kind of like fooling around, and he can kind of see like their silhouettes, and then like the curtain, because of their activity, like gets blown open, and so he sees the sociopath. He sees his face, and then he like tells him to like be quiet. And then I don't know what happens, because like he gets up, and I don't know if he's like intending to like leave to give them privacy, or if he's actually trying to like get a look and like go in closer. But he steps on something and he falls on them, and so he lands on top of the boy that told him the sociopath, and he like knocks over the other boy that was on top of him. And then like basically that sociopath becomes kind of obsessed with him, and he seemed pretty annoying. But then like now I watched episode 2, and it's actually getting much more cute. Like they're slowly becoming friends. And I think there was like a clip I was going to show you. Oh yeah, there was.
It just feels dramatic.
It is dramatic.
Like that, how everybody gets introduced.
It is very
to one another.
Okay, so it's this one. Sorry, let me restart it. How do I do that? Oh.
Well, that was a fail.
That scared me. And I'll narrate. So like he went to go check on his classmate. His classmate is sleeping, and like a dandelion seed lands on his cheek.
Which one is the sociopath?
The one sleeping? Yeah. And our hamster is like trying to get it away off of his cheek.
See, like
you just gotta keep watching, Betty. Damn, this went on longer than I thought.
Am I still watching him try to pick it up?
Yeah.
Oh! Not him slamming his head down.
And then I think you missed it, because he like looks up and there's just like blood coming down his nose. And he's like, why do you hate me?
Yeah.
But also there's like a secret backstory to this guy, because like his aunt
What
came,
guy?
the sociopath, his aunt came to school, and then she's like, how dare you be here? Like, how dare you be out in public? Like, how dare you be smiling? And then she's like, you murderer, like you killed your whole family.
That's crazy.
And it's funny because like the hamster goes to visit the sociopath to take him like his homework, because he's been out of school since that happened. And like he offers him something to drink, and then he's like, what do you have to drink? He's like, just water. He's like, well, why would you ask me what I want to drink, like if that's all you got? But he gives him the water, and then he remembers his aunt being like, you killed everybody. And so he thinks the water is like poisoned. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It doesn't turn out to be poisoned.
I guess, well, let me know if he does kill his family, or if this is another case of like people are just saying it's his fault, but he actually wasn't the one that killed his family. There was a show that I watched. I forgot about it. It's called The Return of the High School Gangster. It's like this gangster dies, and then dies while trying to save a high school kid who was trying to take his life. And then his soul enters the body of the high school kid who was trying to unalive himself that he saved. So then he got,
Wait, how did the gangster die to get his soul switched?
No, the gangster was like walking about, and he sees this kid who's about to like jump. In an attempt to save the kid, he dies.
Him, and he falls? Or?
The gangster dies. The kid is saved, but the gangster's soul enters into the body of the kid, meaning the kid's soul is dead and gone somewhere. And then he basically presumes and lives like
As a student. What network is this?
Huh?
What network is this on?
It's on Hulu. Yeah. I think it was like short. Like I think it was like maybe 8 episodes or whatever. It was very interesting because then he formed a really close friendship with a kid who technically was a close friend to the original student who died. The original student who died was getting bullied severely. This gangster can fight, so he trained himself in his high school body and basically kind of switched things up on the bullies and started actually running them around, and like in essence like stopping them from bullying other people. But then he has a backstory, like the kid that he's cosplaying as has a backstory. His mom is like a mistress who seemingly is crazy and codependent on drugs and whatever. Come to find out that she's actually being force-fed drugs that are driving her crazy by the secretary of his dad, who is in love with his dad. It's just actually it's a very like, I don't know, I pressed play and the next thing I know it was over. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't want to talk too long about it, but yeah. Anyways, next time I'm here, I know that I will be talking about Judge from Hell, and I hope that Polly will also be talking about Judge from Hell, so we can wrap it up. Is that a promise that we can make to to our listeners? And with that said, I think that's all for today, right? Or do you have? Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We'll see you guys next week. I don't know which camera I was supposed to be looking at. Favorite romance scene.